Good morning, Facebook. It's 9:15. I'm in a strange location. I'm doing tips to make your Facebook Lives better. But of course, I'm in a strange location as it is. I'm actually in a boardroom and I'm resting my camera on a flip chart. So first tip should be find a good environment. But you know, sometimes you have to just go with what's available to you. One of the first things I'll say about doing this kind of thing is yesterday I had a bit of a moment with my Facebook Live. It didn't quite go as I expected it to, and I'd not really prepped very well for it in the first place. So I thought, well, you know, with all these kind of things, I always reflect on what I'm doing. It's kind of part of I did a teaching course called Learning to Teach. Preparing to teach in the lifelong learning sector. They call it PETALS, right? And part of that whole course when you're learning to teach was just reflection. Reflection was the biggest part. So looking back at what you're doing, trying to understand what went right or wrong. So when my Facebook Live went right or wrong yesterday, I looked at it and thought, what can I do to make things better? So one of the first things you can do is find a good environment to do your Facebook Lives. I'm in a boardroom, I'm in a corporate office, so it's hard to find somewhere particularly good, but this is what I've decided on at the moment. Whenever I find a good environment, wherever I am, somebody always walks in. Like, that's just in my office. You know, my office is great. I've got a real nice, cute office, creative environment. And Tom on site, he used to work there as the estates guy. He used to come in every time I did a Facebook Live. Wouldn't matter what time of the day it was, he used to always come in. Standing up straight, that's the first thing I'd say. If you stand up straight when you're doing your Facebook Lives, your voice is projected better. One of the things I did yesterday is I was sitting down, and what happens when I sit down is I hunch over a little bit, and it kind of makes me feel a little bit negative. So by standing up straight, I feel much more positive and much more confident about myself when I'm doing my Facebook Live. So the first thing, which I've not written on my notes, is standing up straight. I realised this when I came in the room, that I was standing up, and I'd made that conscious decision. Well, it was an unconscious decision to stand up because I knew yesterday sitting down did not help. Number two then is to make notes. Now, again, a lot of the time you can just wing it, right? If you're thinking about a particular topic and you want to do a Facebook Live about it, you can wing it because you'll be thinking about the topic and you want to get the message out there. But yesterday I did the Facebook Live, and it was a topic that I'm really passionate about. But I was also nervous about doing it as well. So when I delivered it, all my things are going through my brain about what I'm going to say, and so it gets a little bit messed up. So having notes just helps you sort of keep on track with the message that you're delivering. I've got prepare for the unexpected. So know that whenever you're doing anything live, unexpected things can happen. The professionalism that you have will dictate how you deal with that situation. Some unexpected things you can't really help and you can't really deal with. But like I said, people coming in or the camera dropping sometimes or something not working, that can be the unexpected thing that will stop people then going live. You know, I've been on live, I've done enough of them now where the sound might have failed, and some people, if they've taken so much courage to stand and do their Facebook Live, the sound failing can be enough just to stop them and they won't go back to it for a week. So definitely prepare for the unexpected, and if something fails, just go again. You'll see some of my Facebook Lives say take two because the first one just didn't work so well. Picking a topic and sticking to it. So I said I've made notes, but also the fact that what you want to do is pick a specific topic and stick to it. A lot of people, they start a topic and they digress, they go on to another topic. Now I do this quite a lot, but what I try to do with my notes is bring it back in. So as I'm going through each of these points, for example, I'm telling you about the issues between each point, but I'm then reining it back in. Okay, we need to move on to the next part of the specific topic. And there's nothing wrong with having a list of things to talk about as long as they're wrapped around that same topic. One topic is enough to get your message across to people. So don't try to think you have to talk about so many different things. One of the things when I asked people yesterday what stops them doing videos or going live is they said, oh, I don't think my things are interesting enough, or, you know, it's so obvious. Well, it's not obvious to everybody. It's only obvious if everybody knows, and you know not everybody knows. So pick a topic, stick to it, and even if it's simple, it will help somebody, I promise you. Number 5 I've got on here, my numbers are all mixed up, is to practice, right? So a lot of people are uncomfortable with this, but once you get used to it, you can practice and not feel so uncomfortable about it. So if I'm doing a big presentation, it's public speaking or something like that, I'll sit in my hotel room and I'll practice the whole thing. I'll stand up and I'll walk and pace the floor as I do it, because I always walk around when I'm doing public speaking. But I'll practice, and I'll practice. If it's an hour-long session, I'll practice the whole thing. Sometimes I record it as well if it's a technical presentation and I've got demos and stuff. Sometimes I record it so I've got something to go back to if my presentation goes tits up. But practicing, standing in front of the mirror and looking at yourself can really help. It's really awkward, it's really uncomfortable the first time you do it, but once you start doing it, you realise that saying the words outside, when you practice in your head, your brain fills in the gaps, but when you practice in front of a mirror and you say it outside, I've done it to the kids as well, you say the words and you realise what your brain has filled in. It fills in the gaps. So don't let your brain do that. Practice it out loud and you'll be much better when you deliver it next time. Hey Anna, thanks for joining us. Don't let the tech, I couldn't read my own writing. Don't let the tech be the issue. So this is the other thing that a lot of people were worried about. So when I do my Facebook Lives like this, I do it using the front camera, right? And the front camera is not as good as the back. So people say sometimes, that sometimes the image quality is not great. Now, depending on the phone you've got, I've got an iPhone 10, iPhone X. Sometimes if it's a bit of an older phone, the front camera is not as great. So you could always use the back camera, right? But the other thing I use is I've got a mic. I've got a little mic here. I've got a mic. I've got Gorilla Pod. You know, I really kind of try and make sure the tech is working for me as best as possible. So if when you're doing your Facebook Live, the tech fails you or you're not sure about what bit of tech to have, it can just derail what you're talking about. So make sure you've got a good Wi-Fi connection, that you're in a good location, that you know it's going to be delivered well, and just try not to let the tech be the issue. So I'll just round this up. I'll go through those, all the points that I made again. So the first one is to find a good location and to stand up tall and confident when you're presenting, because that always helps how it comes across. Make notes. I've got my notes here. Prepare for the unexpected. Things happen. You can't always, everything can't go well when it's live. It's just not the way it works. Pick a topic and stick to it. So make sure you've got a topic and you're very clear about what you're doing. Don't digress too much. By all means, tell stories, but just don't go too off topic. Practice, practice, practice. I always say practice does not make perfect. We taught this as kids. Practice makes perfect, right? They say that to you at school. That's bullshit. There's no such thing as perfect. Practice makes practice. You just get better, that's all. So the more you do it, the more you get better and the more confident you become as well. And last one is don't let tech be the issue. Now there's a whole bunch more tips I'm sure that I will think about as soon as I finish this Facebook Live. But they're the ones that come to mind, particularly for most people when they're getting started. So I hope that's useful. If you have just joined, by all means, watch the replay. And I always forget to ask people to like the video or give me a comment when they've watched it. And I'm going to start doing this more often, because I realise that a lot of people watch the replays of my videos. I get about 30 views or something when I go live most of the time. But a lot of people are watching the replay. So please do comment, because it's really useful and it's good for me. A bit of an ego trip there to try and know that somebody's watching and somebody's listening. All right, cheers guys, thanks very much, take care, bye bye.